What's good, y'all? It's Decrypt back with another video, and this is probably something I should have done a long time ago. I just never got around to it. I'm gonna start answering you guys' questions. I'm gonna pick out like some of the best questions that you guys asked me. Let's just get right into it. What platform do I use for trading? There's a bunch of different platforms that you can use. I use Webull. A lot of people use Thinkorswim. You can use Robinhood. I personally like Webull because at the time there wasn't any fees. Now there are fees, so in my opinion, if you can, start with Thinkorswim. But I use Webull just because I've been using it so long. And then Robinhood, a lot of people say it's trash. You could trade on it, but it's a little bit more difficult, you know. So I would say Webull. It has the easiest user interface, so I'd say just go ahead and use Webull. Someone asked, why can't I stay committed to studying? Am I just being a bitch? Did you ever struggle? Everyone struggles, bro. Everyone struggles. If you can't stay committed to learning, that's a you problem. That's not anybody else's problem. It's not the people online trying to help you. It's you. If you can't stay committed, I don't have anything else to tell you besides, just lock in and get past it. Be a little girl if you want to, quit, or, just go. That's the best thing I can say. How do I go about risk management? So risk management's a little bit different, right? So it's like, today I taught my members that, it doesn't matter how much money you're trading with. I tricked everyone to thinking that I was trading with $1,000, so that way they'd be more confident in taking these trades, So I said, I'm in with $500. And so now, they're entering with $500 and making just as much as I did, right? But if I was in with $10,000 like usual, most people in my chat would be like, hey, I think that these contracts are a little too expensive. I don't know if I should buy them. They start second guessing themselves. You kind of just have to go at it, bro. So like, obviously risk as much as you're able to lose. If you have a $500, if you're able to risk $500, trade with $250 per trade. If you're able to trade with 10,000, I trade with $5,000 per trade. If I take a loss, so what? I just make it back and then keep going, right? It all comes down to your strategy and your risk to reward and so on. But risk management is different to everyone and to each their own. I can't just tell you I trade with 10,000 and you trade with 10,000 and lose when that's all you have to your name. That's not risk management. Risk management is knowing what you have to lose and then playing with that. How much money do I need to start? If you want to get started out, you have to make sure that you have at least $500 minimum. Because you need money to trade, right? And then you also have to make sure that you have like a job on the side, or you're doing something at least to bring extra income, like active income. Because you will make mistakes in the beginning and you can't just, quit your job and start trading. That's not how this works. Like, you have to make sure that you're making money. As you're trading, this goes along with risk management. You don't get to decide when you want to size up and then start making big bucks. Subconsciously, as long as you stay consistent, it's more than being, green every day. It's like taking the same trades, having the same position size, all that, right? So as long as you stay consistent, you will see consistent green days and have, your strategy on lock. Like, obviously I use a break of high day or low day, fair value gap, retracement, and then I target previous highs or lows depending on where the market's going, right? And I use proper risk to reward, and then I use proper risk management, and that allows me to have a high win rate. But when you're making $10 to $15 a day, you might be sitting there like, damn, like these guys are making $800, $1,000, $10,000 a day. You're not supposed to care about the percentage amount. You're supposed to, or you're not supposed to focus on a dollar amount. You're supposed to focus on the percentage amount and just make money from that. The goal is not to grow your account. The goal is to make money from your account. Say, for example, when you buy funded, you make $8,000, you withdraw that $8,000, right? You don't try to flip your account to $1 million. If you have $1,000, you make 80 bucks, you withdraw that 80 bucks and then you restart. And that's how you're supposed to trade. You're not supposed to grow your account, you're supposed to withdraw and make money from it, and then that's how you keep going. Subconsciously, as you get bored of making these $80, you're gonna be like adding a little bit more, but you don't get to decide, oh, I've been green all week, I'm gonna add 10,000, and because you're just gonna blow it. You have to subconsciously, add a little bit more. Should I paper trade or start with a $5,000 account and stick to my rules? That is probably one of the dumbest things you can do. Because if you don't know how to trade, that's why you're asking if you should paper trade. And if you want to start with $5,000 and you don't know how to trade, you're obviously going to make a lot of mistakes and lose money. Start with like 500 bucks, make as many mistakes as you can, and then go from there, like I just said. Because if you paper trade, you can learn how to buy and sell. You can learn how to, back test strategies, but you're not going to learn the psychological part of making money. You have to learn with real money. What is the average amount you put into a trade? So I trade on a $10,000 account, and on average, I'll take 2 to 3 trades, depending on the market conditions. So if the market's moving sideways and I do see a setup, then I'll potentially, I'll size down a little bit. I'll play with 2,500, and then I might, step away, right? But usually I'll put in $5,000 per trade. If I lose one, so what? I'll take the next one. If I lose both, okay, whatever, I'll come back tomorrow. If I win both, cool. And that's just how I trade. Advice for someone who wants to make day trading their career and quit their 9 to 5. Same thing with risk management. You can't just decide like, hey, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna try day trading, because you're not gonna have any active income. You won't be able to pay bills unless you're like 16, 17 years old and you're trading under like your parents' account. Then you could probably do that, but even then you still want active income, like at least mow lawns. Like I was a barber, so when I was cutting hair, I would use all the money that I was making to put into my trading account. Yes, I was losing, but at least I had money to back myself up, right? Or something to back myself up. So you can't just quit your job and then go into day trading thinking it's sweet, because you will lose, you will make mistakes, and you will become less motivated. So make sure you have something on the side. If you want to do part-time, or what I find best is starting your own business, like a landscaping business, cutting hair. So that way you have your own time to do, day trading in the morning, and then schedule yourself for later in the day. What's something you did differently when you first started? When I first started, I found myself being anxious, waking up and being excited, and then being excited for the market to open, and then I'd enter a trade and I'd be, anxious, nervous, and I'd be like, oh crap, da 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 da. The reason that is because you're playing way too heavy. You see all these numbers online, you want to see all those numbers, but it takes time. Like the more time you spend on the market, like I just said, you have to become bored of making these small numbers, and subconsciously you're gonna add more to your positions and keep going. Don't start big in the beginning, because you'll become less motivated if you lose. And if you make money, you're always gonna be chasing that loss. And what I mean by that is, like, when I started, I had $6,000, right? Or $3,000. I made $1,400 on my first trade. It was like within 10 minutes, I was like, oh my God. Next day I lost it. For the next 3 months, I was just chasing that loss, trying to make that money back, trying to make that money back. I thought that if I deposited $3,000 into that trading account, I'd make it back, and then I'd lose it. And then I'll deposit another $3,000, make it back, no, I'll lose it. I'll just keep chasing those losses. If you start small and you build good habits from the beginning, you will never have to worry about all the losses, the big losses, and stressing out. Start small, make those mistakes. Can you make a video on the tax side of when you're a profitable day trader? So this is the honest truth. I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, but this is what we did. I opened up an LLC. Once you make more than $10,000 in taxes, you pay 10% in taxes, right? So rather than paying 40% on taxable or short-term gains, I'd pay self-employment under my LLC, and I just turned in my 1099K form with my LLC, reported my taxes, and paid that. And that's pretty much all I know. I'm not an accountant. I can't give you advice on that because I'm just a day trader. When should you swing your trades? The best way to swing your trades is when the market starts retracing a bit. So obviously you don't want to just swing calls at any point at the top. I'd much rather wait for the market to retrace into previous highs. So say we are uptrending, right? Making higher highs, higher lows, and then we come down and we retrace down to this previous high. Then that's where I'd want to swing. If it doesn't go your way, then you just wait for the next previous high and keep trying it. One win will make back all your losses, right? So that, or you can play momentum. If it's uptrending and then it starts consolidating sideways for a little bit, but it's not breaking the trend, then you can swing the breakout. Do you look at Wall Street bets? In 2020-21, I did look at Wall Street bets. I was in AMC, I was in GME, I was in Lucid before it emerged. I was in a bunch of stocks like that, like share plays, but now I don't really look at it. I just look at Apple, Nvidia, Meta, Netflix, whatever has volume for the day. When did I start trading? So when I was 14 years old, my parents and my brother got into crypto, right? So they invested in Bitcoin. We got into this like pyramid scheme, and the payouts were Bitcoin, so that's how we were getting paid. But we didn't know what Bitcoin was or how it worked. And this is late 2016, early 2017. My brother one day goes to school, tells his teacher about it. She tells him it's a scam, it's a pyramid scheme, Bitcoin's fake, all this and that. So we come home. We had like 12 Bitcoins collectively, like at $700 to like $1,000. And so we sold it all. We're like, they probably know more than us, whatever. By the end of the year, Bitcoin went to, what was it, like $20,000? So after that, we're like, why did it do that? We started doing more research. We figured out the Bitcoin halving. And then 2020, 2021, we made a bunch of money off of Doge. And I was really the only one that like took it a little bit further. I ran into like share plays and started looking at stock options and making more money off the market. And now I'm here. So I want to start, but I don't know how. Well, I mean, just join the Discord. There's so much information out there on YouTube you can look up. It's really not that difficult, man. You just have to really indulge. Just look up, how do I start day trading? And I promise you, you'll find it. You can look at my YouTube. There's so many other YouTubes out there that you can look at. You just have to start yourself. What's the lowest you have gotten your account to and grew it back? So I traded with a $10,000 account. When I was in Hawaii, it was at $8,000. And then from $8,000, I took it to $29,000. And that was, I think, the lowest this year, $2,000 in drawdown. How long it took you to make your first $1,000? My first $1,000 was on my first trade. So I put $3,000 in, I made $1,400 in like 10 minutes, and then I lost it all, which was unfortunate. Why don't you size in a lot more? This just goes back into what I was saying earlier. You don't get to decide when you want to size up and make more money. It's all a psychological game. So whenever I start becoming like bored, and when I say bored, it's like, you know, you don't think about it. It's like, oh, like, I don't want to trade anymore, whatever. It's like, you just don't care about the number you're seeing on the screen. Subconsciously, you're going to be adding more and more and more. Obviously, there's days where I have good days where I make like 10, 5 figures in a day. But those are like unicorn days. Like those rarely happen. They'll have it maybe once a month. But every other day I make like $500 to $1,000 a day. Sometimes a little bit more. How much capital do you trade with? I trade on a $10,000 account. How do I feel about penny stocks? You can make money on penny stocks. It's just like, it's a hit or miss because you really don't know what's going to be going, so it's like you have to be careful with those. I haven't really looked at them. The last time I traded penny stocks, I was like 17 years old. I'm almost 22. But yeah, I mean, that's how I feel. The plays you post on Discord, are they personal trades you take as well? Yeah, every single trade that I take on Discord, I take live. So you guys can see my screen, you guys see my trades. I show you guys my orders and I show you guys my P&L. There's not a single thing that I hide. You guys can see everything. So everything that I give out on Discord, I take as well. How much did you risk on the Apple trade earlier to make 600? Well, I actually made 800, but I risked $5,000. How much did I have to start trading live? At least $500. And I say that because that's enough for you to start making money. And that's enough for you to start buying the contracts. And then also enough for you to make a little bit of money, right? And not too much to where, you're making big losses and then you just end up chasing these losses because you're losing. How did it feel when you made your first $10,000 off trading? Honestly, it didn't really feel like much because I had already lost so much money. So by the time that I made 10,000, it was just like, okay, finally, What should be the average money you put into a position if your account is only at $500? $250, $500, whatever you want to put into the trade, right? Whatever you're comfortable with. If you're feeling anxious with the money that's in the trade, you're playing way too heavy, and size down until you feel that sweet spot. How do you fight the urge of over trading? Go live your life. If you're up 20, 30, 40 bucks, then just literally step away. Just be smart. I really don't understand. I've never had this struggle of over trading. I only had the struggle of like losing because I didn't know how to trade. But once I started making money, I didn't want to give it back. Whether it was $100, $300, $1,000, $10,000, I would literally just get up and walk away. It's not that hard. I promise you. I promise you, it's not that hard. Do you prefer options or Forex? Both are really good markets, but I started with options and I'm making so much money off of it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Have you tried Forex or futures? I've tried futures, like I've tried funded accounts, but my dilemma is like, why take the time to trade funded accounts when I'm already making money on a cash account, right? A lot of people waste too much time on funded accounts trading simulated funds, and they don't know how it feels to trade real money. So even when you have that real account, you know, it's like you're not going to be able to make that money because you don't know the psychology behind trading. Forex, I've just really never traded it. ¿Qué pasa si no sigo mi estrategia? You're just gonna lose, bro. I'm sorry. But yo, pretty much every other question is the same. Like, you know, they're really basic questions. This video isn't long at all, but I hope these questions, you know, help you guys out a lot. And trust me, there's no such thing as a dumb question. I appreciate every single one of you that answered a question. I'm not trying to sound like passive aggressive or anything. I'm just monotone. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's been Decrypt. I'm out of here. Deuces.